And it's regular season Group C action between Montaket Fuenlabrada and Barossa Bamberg. Well, everything started well for Fuenlabrada, of course. They got that dramatic, incredible win with the Paco Cruz deep three off the Dan Clark pass in the final seconds. And they won 3 in a row, but since then they've dropped 4 in a row. Here's what's happened in Group C this week. Already 3 games have been played. Antwerp, Ike, and Dijon coming up trumps and getting the big wins. I guess the marquee game you might have said was Ike winning at Jerusalem. But this Fuenlabrada team, if they could get a win tonight, they could get themselves right back on track in the Basketball Champions League. It's a funny old game to figure, isn't it? I mean, it's 1 minute you're flying high in the competition, and the next you're down at the bottom. I mean, how did this happen? So Fuenlabrada know tonight is a hugely important game. If they win, they will have a season sweep over Bamberg. Both teams would be 4-4. Bamberg, of course, are very keen to get that win and solidify their standing in the top 4. You need to be in the top 4 if you are going to progress in the competition to the postseason. And getting a look at that man right there, we're going to talk about some of these players for Bamberg. Tyrese Rice, he is Mr. Excitement. Ricky Hickman, terrific player. Nikos Zisas, Stefan Yelovats, Maurice Stuckey, Daniel Schmidt, Luisa Linde, Elias Harris, Augustine Rubit, who made the team of the week recently, all the way down to the bottom there. This is a team that is focused and ready to really lay down their mark in the Basketball Champions League this season. So, can they get a valuable road win? There's a Yenga, one of the great high flyers in this competition, going over to greet the fans. So for Fuenlabrada, O'Leary, Rupnik, Beas, Garcia, Cruz. From Mexico, Vene they've just brought in, the Estonian international, Yorka, Gonzalez, Noguera, Clark, and Ayenga. And of course, Nestor Garcia is the coach. He coached them last year, and after they had a rough start this season, especially on the domestic front, he came back in, surprisingly was still available, and is hoping to turn things around here for Fuenlabrada. But it's easier said than done when you play in Spain's top flight, and also when you play in the Basketball Champions League. You don't get any nights off. You got to play every single week. And you can see this Bamberg team looks like they're having some fun. They're together. And again, a win on the road tonight would go a long way for them as they try to get to the postseason. So I guess the big news tonight, a couple of thrillers. PAOK winning by 1 in Group B at home over Monterrey or Venezia. And also Virtus Bologna no longer unbeaten, losing at Neptunus Klaipėda. Of course, they had a tough game, the first one in Italy. That one went to overtime. This one was won by Neptunus 88-85. They trailed by 12, but they came back to win it. So also already today, Anvil have won against Ventspils. Here are the Fuenlabrada players being introduced. So you know Marko Popovic tonight. So they'll be missing his perimeter game. But the next man up philosophy has to apply here. Anders Bagatskis, always a lot of fun having him in the press conferences, as well as Che Garcia. You can see Che Garcia there embracing his fellow Argentinian, who's an assistant coach for Borussia Bamberg. Marcelo Nicola, who used to also work in Spain as an assistant. I remember him was down at Murcia at one point. Nicola played for Argentina's national team for a long time. And anyway, here we are. So it's interestingly, Zana no longer with the team, but Vene, who's just joined Fuenlabrada wearing Talib Zana's warm-up jacket. So I think they need to change that one around at some point. There's Ayinga. Excuse me, that's Alexander. Sorry, we're looking at Bamberg now. And looking at the results from Bamberg, if you go back and look at how their season has gone, they started again with that 1-point loss to Fuenlabrada at home with the Paco Cruz 3-point missile. They rebounded with a 9-point win over Dijon. Then they lost at Ike, the defending champions. Then they won at home over Liet Kabelis. Then Bamberg won at Antwerp. And in their last two games, they lost at home to Hapoel Bank Yahav Jerusalem, 88-85. And then they hit the road and won in the Czech Republic for the international break, winning that one 84-78. For Fuenlabrada, it has been slim pickings of late. Referees tonight, Korsanidis from Greece, Wojciech Litska from Poland, and Suslov from Estonia. Fuenlabrada began with that win at Bamberg, then they won at home over Antwerp, then they edged Dijon. They got on top of Dijon, but had to hold them off at the end. But since that point, I mean, they were on the wrong end of a heavy scoreline at home to Hapoel Bank Yahav Jerusalem, losing that one 105-75. They lost at Ike, they lost at home to Nürnberg, and then they lost at Liet Kabelis. So the five for Bamberg starting tonight: Zisas, Harris, Rubit, Heckman, and Bryce Taylor. And Bagatskas, who for a long time coached his country's national team, Latvia, deserves a lot of credit for all the work they did for them, not to mention the fact that he was one of their great players back in the day. And something else you may not know about him, he is a terrific ice hockey player. He knows his way around the ice. So Vene, not Zana, Vene, Simsander Vene from Estonia, who played in the World Cup qualifiers, heads over to the bench, actually faced the German team. So Beas, Cruz, Vene's in the starting five tonight, Gonzalez, and Christian Ayinga. Of course, Nestor Che Garcia, one of those great Argentinian coaches. I mean, you talk about the cradle of coaches. Really, in Europe, you probably look to the Balkans, and in South America, you look to Argentina. And he is one of them without question. Coached Venezuela to their greatest moments, the AmeriCup title back in 2015, and coached them at the Olympics in 2016. Fuenlabrada are obviously they play in the Spanish League, and they're 5-6. They've actually turned around their fortunes in the Spanish League after a really difficult start. But as they've done that, their fortunes in the Basketball Champions League seem to have gone in the other direction. Borussia, meanwhile, third in Germany. One of the real powerhouses of German basketball for more than a decade, really. So they are still in the hunt for glory in that competition. Well, good evening, folks. Welcome to Spain. This is Fuenlabrada, where you're watching, and Borussia Bamberg have traveled from Germany to take on Montaket Fuenlabrada in a rematch of that first game of the year, with Paco Cruz hitting the game winner. And Cruz there, right in your screen, commits a turnover right at the beginning. A little bit of getting wires crossed. Now the drive, and Rubit misses. Bass gets it over to Cruz. Gonzalez over to Ayinga. Beas hands it off to Ayinga. Gets in the lane and rejected by Rubit. Zisas misses, and now Ayinga looks to run. He pushes it, and he's going to decide to bring it back out. Rubit was back on defense. Pass down to Vene. And then reaching in and knocking it out of bounds was Patrick Heckman. Beas over to Vene. Ayinga in the paint, puts it up this time. Harris got that rebound. Now Zisas, the experienced Greek, hands it off to Harris. Heckman back to Harris, puts it up off the glass. Gonzalez, the rebound off to Beas on the break, and the first basket goes to Fuenlabrada. Ayinga on the fast break. Heckman drives in, gets rejected, and this triggers a break for Fuenlabrada. Cruz over to Vene. Harris again now. Goes to work against Vene. Gets inside, but Harris stepped out of bounds. Could be a difficult matchup for Vene. You can see Harris, very powerful upper body there. Strong legs. Look at this. Yeah, just stepped on the out of bounds line. And that was Ayinga who got that rejection. Cruz puts it up from deep. It's good. Heckman says, uh-oh, it's that guy again. Heckman over to Rubit, and then Rubit has his pass batted away. Good start for Fuenlabrada on both ends of the floor here. Vene turns and goes up. Good defense by Heckman. Now from deep is Heckman, the right corner. Heckman shoots at about 33% on the year. Here's the bounce pass to Gonzalez at his feet. Harris picks it off. Now Zisis in the open floor. Hands it off to Bryce Taylor. And he will go to the line. Beas raises his hand. Says, I'm the guilty party. In fact, Heckman only had 2 makes. He was 2 of 6 from three-point range in the Basketball Champions League before that shot. And Bryce Taylor makes the first one. Taylor, his first free throw of the season in the Basketball Champions League, misses the second one. Only played 1 game so far in the Basketball Champions League, Taylor. Now, Vane for 3. Chema Gonzalez is able to knock it off of Rubit. Gonzalez goes out, gets the high five from Garcia, and the extra effort, able to throw the ball off of Rubit's head. Here's Lucas Nogueira comes into the game, the Brazilian. And also Vane goes out and is replaced by O'Leary. Cruz puts it up from deep. And Bryce Taylor lost the ball. I think they said it was a kick by O'Leary. Mark Garcia now comes in for Cruz. And Beas also exits the game. And Luka Rupnik comes in. Heckman, well, he said, I'm going to make a pass. Oh, wait, I'm open. I'm going to take the shot. I'm going to make the layup, and I'm going to tie it up. In fact, I'm going to give my team the lead at 6-5. And Garcia this time fouled by Bryce Taylor. This comes out, Taylor comes out. Three-point attempt is good, rattles it in. So Ayenga showing he's not just a player that's going to play inside. Now Tyrese Rice checks in. And the jumper off target by Bamberg's number 9, Maurice Stuckey. We know Tyrese Rice would have enjoyed playing at Fuenlabrada in his days when he was at Barcelona. So these will not be unfamiliar surrounds for him. This was Ayenga's three-pointer. Yelavat's also in the game right now for Bamberg. Now the alley-oop to Baby Nogueira. Rubit, high arcing jump shot is good. And now Luka Rubnik throws the ball away, out of bounds. So another foul called. So tight game here early on. 4-3 Borussia Bamberg going up against 3-4 Fuenlabrada. Fuenlabrada reeling a bit, 4 consecutive losses. I think the international break came at a good time for them. Rice has Rubnik on his back, gets it inside the Rubit. And the contact by Ayinga gets him to foul, gets him to the free throw line. Ayinga heads to the bench and Yorka comes into the game. Also Heckman takes a seat. Heckman's a heck of a player, as is that man right there, Ricky Hickman. Born to thrill. Rubit misses the first. Hickman, a naturalized Georgia international. Rubit makes the second. And a hold called on Ricky Hickman. And Garcia gets in the lane. O'Leary, bounce pass, and Garcia missed another one. I tell you, he's offensive-minded, Garcia, but he missed a couple there. And now flying in, ball ends up with Rice, and he rattles in the three. And they get up on their feet back in Freak City as Tyrese Rice gets his first points of the game. Rubnik from deep, and then sneaking in there for the rebound, Yorka. But he missed with the putback. And now Rice is fouled as he gets into the lane. Fuenlabrada missing some opportunities down low. O'Leary picked up that foul. Dan Clark checks into the game. And Nogueira comes out. Not sure coaches are too pleased with something with him as he comes out of the contest. Dan Clark, a veteran of the Spanish League many years. Hails from Great Britain. And the free throws take it up to a 14-10 lead. And the drive, and the Garcia with the left hand. That time he floats in and kisses it softly off the glass. Now Hickman getting ready to shake and bake. Just the pass. And the miss from Stuckey. And now Rupnik. And a foul called on Hickman. A little bit of contact. Hickman not best pleased. Entry pass to Garcia. Nothing but the bottom of the net with that one. And Fuenlabrada moved back in front. Inside and denied as he went up for the shot and then quickly answering O'Leary, but missed the layup. Nice soft release. Little runner in the lane from Tyrese Rice. Yalavat's guarding Clark. He's capable of going off on a big night himself. He's already made the team of the week once this season, as has Rice. Here's Clark, shot clock winding down. And Yorka got it off just in the nick of time. Now Rice in the open floor. Over to Hickman, and that is the end of the first quarter. Well, plenty of thrills, chills, and spills, folks, here in Fuenlabrada. It is 16-15. Brose Bamberg on top at the end of one. Bamberg, 4 of 6 at the line. Fuenlabrada have yet to make a trip to the charity stripe. Here's some of the highlights. Back to live action and driving in, and the basket is good from Nico Cesis. Now Clark left wide open. Good! Rips the cords. Long shot, no good. Three-pointer from Rice, short. And turning right into Rice was Yorka, turns it over. Now Rice goes in and punishes him. No! He missed the shot, but he was fouled by Clark. Clark disagreeing with the call. I don't think he's going to get any sympathy from Yelovats. Yelovats goes and taps his teammate on the head. 8 points. So the free throws put Bamberg back on top. And now the turnover into the hands of Stuckey. Gets it over to Cliff Alexander, and he gets it back to Zisas. And Zisas took the bump. And now Clark needs to be careful. He's been teed up for arguing with the referee. Well, he took exception to the foul that was called when Rice went in for the drive, and now he's disagreed with another call, and Dan Clark has to go take a seat after the technical foul. Well, seems to have gotten the fans into it a little bit more. Rice, another off 1 foot, little runner, little floater. And Bamberg have taken the lead. The drive and the basket is good by O'Leary. And the reach by Rubnik forces the ball off of Rice. And now the fans are appealing for a technical to be called on Rice, who's gone up to the referee to seek a clarification. Now Stuckey called for the foul there on O'Leary as he ran towards the basket. And certainly this game has a nastiness about it. Rubnik, a little hesitation and another foul. This one called on Rice by the Greek referee, Porsanidis. Baby Nogueira sets the pick. Rubnik puts up a three. And Baby Nogueira just intercepts it quickly, gets it to Rubnik on the break. O'Leary back to Rubnik. Oh, what a terrific block by Alexander, who hustled back and swatted Rupnik. Zisas. Step back, Rice off the top of the backboard. Now the three-pointer from Yorka. It's off, and both teams misfiring a little bit. That was a great block, great hustle by Alexander to go down, not give up on the play. And Rupnik goes out with Bayas coming back in. So Rice is at the line. He's already got 11 points. And misses the first attempt. And a good rebound by O'Leary is uncharacteristic. 2 misses there for Tyrese Rice at the free throw line. Stepping back, and the three-pointer is no good from Garcia. There's Bryce Taylor. Beautiful bounce pass. Nope, it was stolen. Read all the way by Paco Cruz. Fuenlabrada could use some Paco Cruz offense. And Garcia picks up another foul on Tyrese Rice. Well, maybe a little unlucky that, moving his feet. So Tyrese Rice exits the game. He's got 2 fouls. Here's Cruz. Shaking and baking, pulls up at the line, short. Good hustle by O'Leary to bat it out to Bayas. O'Leary hands it off to Cruz, gets it back to O'Leary for 3. Both teams struggling offensively right now. Taylor pulls up, mid-range. Bayas tries to push it quickly for Fuenlabrada. Nogueira hands it back off to Yorko, goes right down the lane. He gets protected again by Alexander, but O'Leary swooped in to pick up the ball and put it up and in. But how about Alexander? You don't want to be putting any weak stuff up when he's around. Zisas for 3, leans into it. One of his country's all-time greats, really. The former Greece international. Zisas spent a lot of time playing in Spain as well. He was with Bilbao. Bayas, his pass kicked. Good play by Nikos Zisas, who, as Yelovats goes over to the bench. Hard to believe Nikos Zisas is 35 years of age, but that's what happens. We all get old, don't we? Now, I'm not saying he's old. We all get older. Here's Bene. But I remember when Zisas was just turning pro. I mean, he's, boy, time has flown by, hasn't it? Alley-oop to Nogueira. Games come to life nicely here. And Zisas slipped over but was able to get it over to Heckman. Now Rubit has it in the right corner. Going to work on Vene. Simsander Vene, recent addition to this Fuenlabrada team. So here's Rubit. 4-point lead for the team from Germany. Cruz not clicking, but Nogueira there for the putback note. And now he needs to be careful. He's voicing his disapproval at the ref. Zisas, his pass batted away and a foul called on Heckman. It was certainly not intentional, as Ayenga was going for the ball, and a little bit of a collision there. Watch this. Oh. And Heckman's the first one to go over to try to help him up. That was what is that law of physics? Two objects moving towards each other. Collision. Well, I don't know what it is. Ayenga has to go out. Not sure if he lost his breath. He certainly took a knock, and he seems a bit dazed. So that brings Garcia back into the game. Ooh. Oh, Ayenga shaken up a little bit. Zisas also goes out of the game. Tyrese Rice back in. Oh, Nogueira's right idea, but horrible pass. If it's not there, don't make it. And he threw it right into the hands of Bamberg. Now Rubit. Again, guarded by Simsander Vene, who won that battle. Cruz is the man who has to get it going here. He's got that 1-3. Here's Beas. Heckman with the rebound. The fans wanted a foul on Rubit after his collision with Garcia. Now Rubit catches it and scores. And Che Garcia calls timeout.
Son 6. Primero, no turnover. No quiero que se me vaya, ¿está? Vamos a tenerlo ahí. No turnover. Estás a 8 metros. ¿Tenés que tirarla? Yo ya lo sé, todos sabemos que mal pase. Pero te dejan ahí. Tomás.
Pass the ball, flip, or Tyrese, and pick a roll and a dump. Okay. No. I mean like this. Think like this. I mean a good speed. Look for inside. He slips or sets a speed anyway. It's not good speed. But immediately inside. We keep that.
See Ayenga really dazed after that collision. We're trying to figure out which law of physics that is. Oh, there it is again. It was suggested to me that it was Newton's third law. For every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. I'm not sure that one's it. Here's Paco Cruz. Passes it back outside to Garcia, who takes the bump by Heckman. And he makes the first one. But misses the second, and Heckman, who committed the foul, gets the rebound. The drive and the miss by Alexander. Now quickly, Garcia. Cruz back outside to Beas. Into Nogueira, who makes the bounce pass to O'Leary. And Heckman picks up the foul. He says he had all ball. Watch this. Well, there was a little bit of contact as the Fuenlabrada player came into the lane. And it looked like Heckman did have a lot of ball there, but he's unlucky as he goes to the bench, and that brings Harris back into the game. Both free throws are good. Garcia, he was called up to the Spain team in the last window for the World Cup qualifiers. Harris hands it off to Rice. He's dancing around out there. And nobody boxed out Rubit, who tapped it in. Cruz gets it to Nogueira, who goes up for the dunk. Rubit misses there for the offensive rebound is Harris. Garcia now over to Beas. Fuenlabrada can get to within one, so they can tie it with a three. Cruz for three. And the ball goes out of bounds. It'll belong to Fuenlabrada here in the final minute. Bane back in. Pops over to the corner. Cruz tries to get it to him. Rubit knew the pass was coming. He got his hands up. Knocked it out of bounds, so there's 7 seconds left here on the shot clock. Beas, alley-oop, and Tyrese Rice picks up the foul. That was a well-designed play to get the ball to Nogueira right where he is going to do some damage. Look at this. And I think some incidental contact on Rice has led to him getting a foul. He's a bit unlucky on that one. 3 fouls, and he's picked up the 3rd one here in the final minute. Of this first half. Here's Nogueira. There's Marko Popovic. Not sure what he's asking. Both free throws are good. So timeout on the floor here for Bamberg as they try to drop a play here at the end of the first half to extend their lead.
If not, slow down. We go beginning is a 2-for-1. If not, we go for a good one offense. Okay?
Camo uno, hay que defender esto. ¿22-5 o lo van a preparar? Él está con la zona. Entonces lo que yo voy es a 10. Enseñamos y luego cambiamos. 10, pac, y le cambio. Dale. Arriba. La última derecha. Hablando.
40 seconds on the game clock, 24 the new shot clock, and Zisas has it. He passes over to Harris, who gets inside. Great control by Harris. And now Garcia decides he wants to call timeout and design a play. Remember, Fuenlabrada trying to snap a 4-game losing streak in this competition. Well, Rice has had a tough time tonight with the fouls. He scored a lot of points. He's dangerous as always, and I think he's been a little bit unlucky with some of the calls. But out of the game now, he's got 12 points, 3 fouls, 3 rebounds, and assist. So the ball inbounded, and Fuenlabrada can hold it for 1 if they want to take the clock down. Garcia over to Vene. Now Cruz. Back to Vene, who puts it up from deep. And Nogueira came up with the ball right at the end, but that's not even close. For some reason, they wanted to get a 3 as opposed to getting something going to the basket like Bamberg did. They had plenty of time. So Barossa Bamberg go to halftime on top 34-31 over Montaque Fuenlabrada. And you look at the numbers, the rebounding, and Ayenga is slow to come off the court. Hopefully he'll be okay. Each team with 6 turnovers. Break out the Bocadillos and Fuenlabrada. Bamberg getting those 2 blocks from Alexander. Those were big, weren't they? Gosh, that's making me hungry looking at all this now. It is dinner time. And, well, that's where we are. At halftime, it's Barossa Bamberg 34-31 over Fuenlabrada. Rubit with 9 points. Rice with 12 leading the way. We'll be right back for the start of the second half. 34-31, Brosa Bamberg on top of Montaquit Fuenlabrada here in Spain in the Pabellon Fernando Martin. And Brosa Bamberg have certainly not forgotten how that first game ended with that Paco Cruz game-winning three-pointer right at the death. A long three-pointer at that to win it 89-88. Coming into this game, it's been Bamberg that has been probably in the better form, winning 3 of their last 4 games in the Basketball Champions League. Ayinga, we saw him have that collision with Heckman. He had to leave the game, and then he was dazed as he walked off the court at halftime. And now he's out in the warm-ups, so I assume he's checking things out and seeing if he's going to be able to go. It certainly seems like he'll play. Well, folks, you want to follow the latest on the Basketball Champions League, go to championsleague.basketball. Also, load the Basketball Champions League app into your smartphone. If you go to the Basketball Champions League website, you'll get to see a lot of video replays of games, press conferences, top 5 plays of the day, top 10 plays. You can read about the team of the week, the MVP of the week, and you can read excellent columns, various things written every week. You can listen to the podcast, the Coast to Coast podcast, where a lot of good interviews taking place there. Igor Cherkovic's Champions League Help Side column is always fun to read and informative. It's also interesting to read inside the BCL, the Dickon Lloyd Smith Champions League Insider. Always comes up with some interesting topics. You can read the David Hines Champions League Homegrown column. You can read the power rankings. And you can also read the Tough Calls column, where every week referees will look back at some of the calls that were made and review whether or not the referee made the right call or the wrong call and explain why. So a lot of good content on the Champions League.basketball website and also on the Basketball Champions League app. So Fuenlabrada opened with 3 wins in the Basketball Champions League, and since that point they have lost 4. Brosa Bamberg, meanwhile, are 4-3, winners of 3 of their last 4 in the competition. And the second half is underway. Paco Cruz, it's been a quiet night for him. And Ayinga, who had the bump in the collision, starts. And somehow a foul was called there. I didn't see it. Harris was called for the foul, so Gonzalez goes to the line and comes up well short. Second one is good. So Nico Cisas brings it forward. His team leading by a couple. Pass over to Rice. Now to Harris. Harris spins, hands it off, and Rubit was in good position there, but good defense from Fuenlabrada. Ayenga, one of the top shot blockers. Saw the cameraman got bowled over there. Good job by the cameraman. So some clarity being sought over there at the scores table. Paco Cruz crosses midcourt, hands it off to Beas. Bene gives it now to Ayenga. And now Paco Cruz has it. And Beas allowed to shoot in the lane, misses. And Chema Gonzalez knocked that one out of bounds. I think that should be Brosa Bamberg ball. Oh no, they're going to give it to Fuenlabrada. Watch. Here we go. Oh, yeah, that was off of Harris. Certainly Gonzalez went for the ball, but Cruz hands it off to Gonzalez again. Heckman wraps up the rebound. Zisas. Rubit, he's got the advantage on Beas. What would you rather do if you're Beas? Have to guard Rice or Rubit? That's a tough one, isn't it? Because you're almost at a disadvantage on both. That time Rubit went up and was denied by Gonzalez. Yeah, he kind of lost it just as he went up. Good defense by Gonzalez. So that's a couple of defensive stands now by Fuenlabrada. Ayenga denied the Rubit, and that time Gonzalez. So that bodes well for them here in the second half. Beas open for three, good! Fuenlabrada now take the lead. And a blocking foul called, so a new 14 here. Blocking foul called on Beas for getting in the way of Heckman. Heckman has the 3 fouls. And now Brosa Bamberg turned it over. .5 was the call. They didn't get it in the allotted 5 seconds. Harris knocked it out of Gonzalez's hands. Now Paco Cruz has to work his magic, and Gonzalez couldn't catch the pass. I think Cruz would have been better off just putting it up. Cruz not really in sync yet, and that can change in a hurry, and that would be good for Fuenlabrada if it did. Here's Rice, steps back for the 3. 15 points for Rice. Ayinga for three, gets it right back. Good denial defense. Alec Harris, Fuenlabrada appealing for a foul on Harris. Into the corner it goes to Zisas, off the back of the iron, Gonzalez. Boy, how in the world did they conspire to lose that ball out of bounds? Gonzalez doesn't have great hands in this third quarter. Just couldn't pick it up. Watch this. So it went off his hands initially, then he and his teammates, and then he just couldn't pick it up to make the pass. It's been that kind of quarter for Gonzalez. Rice open, too long this time. And Simsander Vene brings it down with Harris right behind him. Now Cruz this time forces the issue, and maybe that's what he's got to do. He needs to start seeing the ball go through the basket, because Fuenlabrada could sure use his scoring. Harris just inside the stripe. Rubit with the board. Back outside to Zisas. And another bump and another foul. The foul called on Vene. I think he's a nice addition to this team, and getting a lot of minutes early, even though he's just joined them. The 35-year-old Zisas at the line misses the first. Bamberg probably feel like they should be on top right now. It feels like they have been on top in this game, but this third quarter has not been good for them. He makes the second. They've been outscored 9-4 in the quarter. Ayinga. Well, he hit that 1-3, but that time off target. He's got a couple of threes in the game, in fact. And now a hold called on Ayinga. Yeah, they were tangled up, he and Harris. Zisas looking for some space. Back to Heckman. Now down low to Harris. Nice pass. Nice finish. We're knotted again at 40. And now a hold called on Zisas. I'm almost surprised Cruz didn't try to take Rubit off the dribble there. First foul for Nico Zisas. So Garcia comes in for Ayinga. Good start to the second half from Ayinga. Cruz turns to his right, gets inside, puts it up and in. once again forcing his way inside. Come hell or high water, he was going to the basket that time. 7 points. Heckman bounce pass. Oh, Harris just laid it up and in. 6 points for Harris. Now Garcia shaking and baking, puts it up. Rice hands it off again to Rupert. And foul. Here it is again. Watch Harris. Just a kind of a weak foul to be called, really. It's the second on Harris, just going for the ball. Dan Clark comes back into the game for the first time since he went to the bench after the technical foul that was called on him. O'Leary is also back in. He puts it up and drills it. Bryce Taylor probes the defense. Ricky Hickman. Nice jumper, soft touch, Ricky Hickman. Cruz, oh, aggressive, strong move from Cruz. Cruz is right in for the layup. And ditto for Hickman. No, he doesn't make this shot, but at least he will go to the line. See Che Garcia trying to get on the same page with Rupnik, and Hickman misses with his first attempt. Hickman misses both, but then Heckman was there, or Yelavat, excuse me, for the offensive rebound and putback. Because of injuries, this is Hickman's first game. There you go, and another layup for Cruz, who's having a lot of success getting the ball inside. Heckman this time gets the basket and will go to the line. First foul on O'Leary. Didn't like to give that one away to Heckman, and Heckman does not complete the three-point play. Now Cruz again, probing. He says, I like going to the basket. I'm going to find my way in there. Clark. Back to Rupnik, a long way out. It's good. Well, you can say it's a 4-point swing with Heckman's free throw miss. Trying to keep the ball out of Hickman's hands. And they've called a foul on Hickman. Wow. It's not been his night. It's his first game in the Basketball Champions League this season. He'd been out with injuries. I think he was kind of baited into that by Rubnik. Clark right at the line, short. Bounce pass, and Alexander goes right down the lane for the dunk. First 2 points of the game. He obviously has those 2 blocks as well. Now this time Heckman, or Yalovats, has picked up the foul for the bump. Rubnik certainly seems to bring out the worst in some of his opponents, and maybe that's because he's a difficult player to go up against. Gonzalez comes back into the game. For Clark. Well, Banvit won their game tonight against MHP Rees in Lewisburg. That was a big one. Rubnik makes the first. And the second is good as well. Well, mission accomplished, I think, that time for Rubnik. He did a good job. 23.7 seconds remain in the quarter. Yorka in the game guarding Hickman. Yorka picks up the foul. Not what you want to do. Probably could have been called for a foul even before that. Now you put the opponent on the free throw line, easy chance for points, although Hickman did just miss a couple. Also into the game, Luis Olinde. For Bamberg. Rubik back in. Alexander goes out. Olinde just 20 years old. And this time Hickman makes his free throw. Makes both. Bryce Taylor comes in, tells his guys, come on, let's play some defense. Let's get a stop here. Cruz has it. He's been the main man here offensively, and he goes again to the basket, and this time doesn't finish. Olinde uncorks one. He had a chance, but that's how it finishes right at the end of the third quarter. Fuenlabrada complaining, but they win. They're leading 53-52 over Brosa Bamberg. 7 of 19 from deep for Fuenlabrada, 4 of 11 for Bamberg, so that's one of their advantages. And here's some of the highlights from that third quarter. Okay, final quarter underway here in the Fernando Martin, the Pabellon Fernando Martin, and it's a 1-point lead for Fuenlabrada as they try to snap a 4-game losing streak. Zisas gets in, gets it over the Rubit. Shot clock winding down. Rubit turns, gets blocked by O'Leary. And then the drive and the block by Yelovats. Triggers a break for Brosa Bamberg. Bryce Taylor uncorks one from deep. So defense turns to offense, and it's a 2-point lead now for Bamberg. Rubnik starting the fourth quarter here. Drives in, Hickman picks him clean. So far, a great start. And Bamberg with Yelovats, wow. He had the open look, and then it looked like he was going to go for a dunk, but he was a bit slow and ended up with nothing. Yorka in the game, as is Ayenga with the ball. Ayenga flies in, took on 3 players. He needs to be careful. Ayenga, he doesn't want to get a technical. Zisas hands it off to Yelovats. Back to Zisas and now to Rubit. Shot clock winding down. Zisas. And good defense by Fuenlabrada. Ayenga goes in, and then great defense by Rubit. As Ayenga attacked the basket, Rubit was able to reach in, get ball, and knock it off of Rubit. Well, it was Yelovats who had that swat. Good hands, Rupnik almost getting the steal. Jelovec, however, picks it up and drills another three. This time Yorka. Bumped by Zisis. Yes, dribbling around, somehow gets the pass over to Clark. Ball went in and came out, and Bamberg now with a 5-point lead. And this time the ball knocked away by Yinga, but Rubit hustles back, and it looked like good fortune. Rubit was out of bounds when Yinga hit it, and it went off of Rubit. Yinga is fouls on Jelovec. And Jelovec again, and this time they tell Beas to stand up, and now, oh, I thought for a minute there they were going to call a charge on Yinga. But instead, they called the blocking foul on Bryce Taylor. Watch this. That was the Jelovec contact with Beas, and then watch this. And Taylor was called for the foul, for the hold. This game has had some physicality at times. No surprise. Beas. Entry. So Yinga turns, goes up, and are they going to count it? Vane is going to come back into the game. They do count it indeed. Big news tonight. Virtus Bologna losing their unbeaten record, falling at Neptunus Klaipėda. And the basket is good. Now the drive, and Zisis is fouled as he gets in the lane. Bamberg with a 2-point lead, and Zisis has had some struggles at the free throw line tonight. Kind of uncharacteristic. See Popovic looking on from behind, not playing tonight, not able to help his team. That's a big loss. And Zisas missed both. Wow, what's going on out there? Zisas and Hickman both missing free throws tonight. Zisas came into this shooting 100%. He'd made all 17 of his free throws, but tonight he's not been good at all. And inside to Yorka, he goes up and scores easily and ties it. Zisas just 1 of 4 at the line, and for some reason, Brosa Bamberg really struggling. Now 12 of 22. The drive and the basket is good by Rubit. Now the pass over to Yorka. Oh, Yorka! And now it's Fuenlabrada back in front. An unlikely source of points, really, Yorka. And Beas going for a steal, fouls Rice. This is that's an easy call. I'm not sure why Beas is appealing. And there you have the three that was made by Yorka, who was shooting 20% from three-point range coming into this one. He was 1 of 5. And that's what I'm talking about. And he's had a couple of big baskets here in this fourth quarter. Rubit over to Zisas on the baseline. Ayinga swoops in for the rebound, but then he loses it as he pushes it up the floor into the hands of Rice. Well, he can take the ball up the floor, no doubt, but it's always better to get the ball into the hands of your guard. And Ayinga is just trying to push on the fast break. Watch. And just kind of dribbled it off of his left leg. Rice. Oh, Rice swoops in. Puts Bamberg back in front. And now right down the lane, Cruz, where he has scored repeatedly, but usually off his own dribble. That time he cut in and took the pass. Now Rice answers immediately. Well, the first game was a thriller, and so is this one, folks. 19 points for Rice. Ayinga. Oh, he gets rejected by Rubit. But O'Leary gets it back. Passes it out to Yorka. They've got to hurry. Yorka flies in. Oh, and Yorka was going to try to make the pass to Ayinga, then changed his mind at the last second. And Brosa Bamberg, rather, wanting the and one, but they're not going to give it. Foul called on Cruz. So Yorka goes out, frustrated, knowing he could have had a layup. And the drive and the basket is good from that man, once again, Rice, who now has 21 points. Oh, what a shake and bake move from Cruz. He doesn't finish, but O'Leary there for the putback. He misses. Garcia flies in and gets the ball back. He wants to go up and ends up throwing the ball out of bounds. Trying to get it over to Ayinga. So timeout on the floor here for Che Garcia to talk to his team. So he's basically saying you've got 4 spots where you could throw the ball, spread the court open it up, and then you can have some more space to attack.
It's open, pass, if not, we can roll with him. Let's go, guys, let's go. Bamberg on 3, 1, 2, 3. Bamberg.
Abre la cancha, says Che Garcia. Plenty of time still. 2:49 remaining, but certainly Brosa Bamberg have landed some blows here, and specifically Tyrese Rice. Is this another? But don't forget, you know, Bamberg had the lead at the end of the other game before Paco Cruz hit the shot heard round the world. Certainly it was heard all the way back in Mexico. That was in the first game when his shot at the buzzer lifted Fuenlabrada to that famous win on game day 1. Rice with 21 points. And now he's being guarded by Ayinga. He gets the pick, almost loses it, picks it up. He's almost carrying it. Now gets it inside, drifts in again and scores. He's equaled. No, he had 33 in the first game against Fuenlabrada. Excuse me. So he's got 23 now. He also had 23 against Liad Cabalas. And he had 20 against Dijon. Good defense from Bamberg. And Bamberg's Heckman getting on the floor for the ball, and he is fouled. Execution lacking for Fuenlabrada here in the key stage of the game. And Bamberg defensively not giving away an inch. Great play by Harris. Harris stood tall and strong and blocked the path to the basket for Fuenlabrada and forced the turnover. So here's Heckman. First one is good. Their biggest lead of the game, as he makes the second, had been 5 points, so now they are up by 7. Their biggest lead of the game, and it's now crunch time. Fuenlabrada, somebody's got to make some plays. Will it be Cruz? Quick pass down low, beautiful play to O'Leary. O'Leary's had a nice game tonight. Question is, what do you do with Rice? O'Leary with 8 points and 9 rebounds. And the pass over to Rubit. And good job boxing out that time. So that's one possession stopped. Can Fuenlabrada get another basket? Ayinga trying to have his way, but Harris takes it away. Second big defensive play here by Harris in the closing stages. Ayinga is skilled, but having him going one-on-one against some of these guys probably isn't the best option. Step back for Rice. Oh, goodness me! Look at him. 26 points for Tyrese Rice. He just gets the job done, doesn't he? Week after week. That's why he earns the big money. Look at him. Fuenlabrada called the timeout. Try to salvage something here at the end. Well, Popovich wishes he could have played tonight, not able. And Fuenlabrada now have to pull a rabbit out of the hat again against Borussia Bamberg if they're going to get a win here at home and stop this four-game slide. But it doesn't look good right now. Borussia Bamberg have their biggest lead of the game, 8 points. Clock is the enemy here. Cruz. And drives in, misses. Even goal differential would be important, even if you lost, but by just, well, it's not going to happen, is it? It's going to be Bamberg's night. They're going to take some more time off the clock. Rice almost loses it. And Heckman picks up the loose ball and earns a trip to the free throw line. So disappointment here in Spain for Fuenlabrada, as they're going to drop to 3-5. Heckman makes the first. UCAM Murcia of Spain winning 76-71 at MSB Le Mans. And Iberostar Tenerife, they won their game yesterday. A hard-fought game at Bonn, 99-92. Bene takes the three. Rice chases it down, and that will be it. So a hard-earned, richly deserved 75-65 win for Borussia Bamberg over Montaket Fuenlabrada tonight. (75-65). Borussia Bamberg win it over Montaket Fuenlabrada. Well, it's always good when you hit the road and you get a win.
Finding ways to win.
And these are the times that test your resolve as a team for Fuenlabrada. They've fallen to 3-5. They know they've got a real fight on their hands to get one of those top 4 spots. And this does not help them. They were already at the bottom of the standings. Do you see? Well, Bamberg took a lot of trips to the line, but a lot of it was execution down the stretch. And Fuenlabrada just did not have it. They had their opportunities, and of course Rice just kept that scoreboard ticking over for Bamberg. Cruz did get it going eventually, led his team with 13 points, but Fuenlabrada finished second best tonight. Ayinga, 11 points. Nogueira had 8 in the end. And Rice was the architect of their demise in that fourth quarter, without question. Cruz and Ayinga, their top, really, two of their top players, and Rupnik, but they had a combined 10 of Fuenlabrada's 13 turnovers. Obviously trying to make plays. But a great night for Bamberg, that's for sure. This win is going to improve their record to 5-3. So they will be in third place. Just a game behind Hapoel Bank, Yahav Jerusalem, and a couple behind Group C leaders Ike Athens. You have to also remember that down the stretch, Harris played very well for Bamberg on the defensive end, making some big plays. He finished with 6 points, 5 rebounds, 3 steals. And those 3 steals were a team high. In fact, they were a game high 3 steals for Harris. So next week, Fuenlabrada will try to get back on track. They will be playing at Telenet and Telenet Giants Antwerp. That'll be a big game for them. And Bamberg will be playing at JDA Dijon in France. So they will like their chances. It'll be the 3rd consecutive game on the road in the Basketball Champions League for Brose Bamberg. They won at Nymburk 84-78 before the international break. So happiness on the Bamberg bench. Somebody needs to give Tyrese Rice a steak tonight, because he certainly earned it with that fourth quarter. And that confirms the standings. Ike up at the top, Bamberg up to 3rd at 5-3, and Fuenlabrada, because they get that extra participation point, are in 6th. Still just a game behind Telenet Giants Antwerp, their opponents next week. Thanks for watching, everybody. Big night for Bamberg.